Residents have used their own money and their own time to maintain a lot of the traffic circles in the city. So when the city sent them a letter saying stop doing it, they were a little hurt. KPIX 5's John Ramos has the story.
For a long time, Berkeley has used traffic circles in some of its residential intersections to slow drivers down. But with no money to maintain the circles, the city has relied on a group of neighborhood volunteers to do it.
I have taken complete responsibility for maintaining it for 5 years.
George Harder bought most of the plants in this circle at Fulton and Russell and waters them with what he saves from his sink and shower. The coastal live oak was planted by another neighbor 13 years ago. So after all their work, he and the other volunteers were stunned to see this July letter from Public Works saying residents would no longer be allowed to work on the circles and that any plants not approved by the department would be yanked out, including the removal of any and all trees in traffic circles. And to top it all off, they found out about it by accident because the city never actually sent the letter to the volunteers.
It took everybody by surprise, and they were infuriated, shocked, and thought it was outrageous that the city would just change their policy overnight and not have any input from the community.
The city wouldn't speak with us about this, but most believe this is happening because of a reported $2.5 million settlement it may pay to a pedestrian injured in 2015 here at Ellsworth and Stewart Streets. The claim is that the thick trunk of this tree blocked the driver's vision. So the decision was made to get rid of all trees, which to some seems like an overreaction.
In a circle like this, nobody's walking over and looking at it and going, oh, I predict that there's going to be a car accident because of this tree. That's just a reaction. And when you make reactions, you make big faults.
The neighbors arrived to complain at the last council meeting, but the city manager announced that the policy had been walked back a bit.
Each circle will be assessed on a case-by-case basis. But however, there are trees that may need to be removed.
So now no one really knows what will stay and what will go. City officials say they will decide that based on safety, or perhaps in this case, liability. They say they want to involve the volunteers in the decision-making, but when it comes to maintaining the circles, the answer now seems to be thanks, but no thanks. In Berkeley, John Ramos, KPIX 5.